Hi everyone, this is Christa Clark with Artistic Vegan, and today I'm going to show you how to make a delicious new creation. And this is actually courtesy of Gerald Clark's idea, my husband. He had a really great idea to take one of my delicious flatbreads, and instead of making it into a flatbread, making it into an empanada and then stuffing it with the tofu scramble, and then I added a little twist. So we're going to make a breakfast hot pocket. It'll be really good and I hope you love it. Alright, so to get going, we're going to take a half cup of dairy-free milk with 1.5 tablespoons of apple cider vinegar. This is the kind that I like, it's organic. And we're going to go ahead and add this to the milk and whisk it together. And the reason for this is it creates almost a buttermilk effect. Now, I have a blender here, so to that I'm going to add 1/3 of a block of tofu. And I'll go ahead and show you what kind of tofu I used. So this is a silken tofu. It is firm, though if you have soft, that would be preferred in this case. It is a Morinaga brand, which is non-GMO verified organic, which is really good to use in the case of soybeans since Monsanto has done so much in that field. Alright, then to that, I'm going to go ahead and add 2 tablespoons of chickpea flour. Now, if you do not like to use soy, you could just use a half cup of chickpea flour and avoid the tofu altogether. Okay, then I'm going to add a few cloves of garlic, a tablespoon of starch. Now, you can use cornstarch or potato starch. In this case, I'm going to use an arrowroot starch. Oh no, excuse me, it's tapioca, but arrowroot would work as well. Then I have 2 tablespoons of nutritional yeast. This will create just a wonderful cheesy flavor. And it also has vitamin B, which is good for vegans. Into that I have a mixture of spices here, and that is a half teaspoon of paprika, turmeric, a half teaspoon of red pepper flakes, and a 1/4 teaspoon of salt. And I also have this recipe on my blog, so I'll go ahead and include it with this video as well. Then to that, I'm also going to add to it just a handful of some fresh cilantro. Add that there. And then just add this milk mixture, which is set aside for a little bit. Now this step is optional. I am going to go ahead and add 1 tablespoon of coconut oil. And you could use coconut butter if you're going for oil-free, or skip it. This kind of gives it just a nice texture and taste. Okay. So then, after it has gotten nice and smooth, I blend it for about 25 seconds and go ahead, scrape down the sides. And I'm going to go ahead and blend it one more time just to make sure I got everything in there. Really nice and fine. Okay, so blend one more time. Alright, so I'm just going to go ahead and set that aside and scrape off any excess. And I'm going to go ahead and make a vegan omelette with that and then crumble it up into more of a scrambled egg. So I'm going to go ahead and just set that aside for now while we make a vegan sausage. And this is a breakfast sausage, and it is vegan. You could enjoy it raw, though we are going to cook it. And it does cook up surprisingly really nice. Okay. So what you're going to need is a cup of walnuts or pecans. So I have walnuts. Add that to a food processor. Okay, and go ahead and add a tablespoon of tamari. You could also use soy sauce. The reason I'm using tamari is just that it's gluten-free. It also kind of has just a mild, delicious flavor. So 1 tablespoon of that. To that, I'm going to go ahead and add about 3/4 tablespoon of coconut sugar. And this will kind of give it that sweet, savory flavor. And people won't really expect it and know what the ingredient is, and that'll be it. Okay, so then to that, I'm going to go ahead and add just a couple drops of the good smoke. I would say about 1/8 of a teaspoon. And this will kind of give it a nice smoky flavor. In this case, I'm using a hickory flavor, and it almost just creates a savory flavor. A lot of people use it when they're making a vegan bacon. It's really delicious. Gotta check it out. All right, and to that I have some herbs. So here I've got 1/4 teaspoon of oregano, and then for spice we've got 1/4 teaspoon of black pepper, red pepper flakes, and about 1/2 teaspoon of salt. Though you could use 1/4 or less since the tamari does have salt. To that, I'm going to go ahead and add 1 mushroom and about an 1/8 slice of onion, just a nice slice of onion here. Go ahead and add that in, and just a dash of cloves. This part is also optional, but I'm going to go ahead and do it. So I'm going to go ahead and add 1 tablespoon of coconut oil. You could also use coconut butter here, or pass. You could also use zucchini if you want to go oil-free. Now in this case, since we're going to be frying it up, I am going to be using a tablespoon of the oil. It'll create kind of that fat effect from that you find in, for instance, pork. So we're going to go ahead and do that. Okay, so 1 tablespoon of coconut butter. All right, so go ahead and blitz this up. Okay, so just kind of give it a good blitz there, and then I'm going to press it down so that way everything gets incorporated. It's wild as it actually really smells like a breakfast sausage. And I would say you could go about 1/2 tablespoon of the coconut oil or butter as well, and it would be fine. Okay, so from there, we're going to go ahead and move over to the stove, which I'm going to go ahead and say goodbye and just focus in on the food. So we're going to be making a vegan omelet, and then crunching that up or scrambling it up into more of a scrambled egg. And then we're going to be making a vegan sausage with some onions and some pepper and maybe a little mushroom. So we'll go ahead and mix that together, and then we're going to be using that as a filling for our empanada or breakfast sandwich or breakfast pocket, which is going to be just absolutely delicious. So we'll go ahead and start with this, set the ingredients aside, and then we'll make the crust for the empanada. So I'll see you soon. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and heat up just a little bit of oil in a non-stick pan, as well as in a grill, so I can heat up the omelet as well as that sausage. So let's go ahead and get started. Alright, so to the first skillet, I'm going to go ahead and add 1/2 cup of diced onions. And once my griddle gets nice and hot, I'm going to go ahead and add the vegan omelet mixture on there and cook it for about 2 to 3 minutes on one side, flip it for about 2 to 3 minutes on the other side. I may even cover it to see the inside. I'm going to go ahead and do it about half at a time. That way it will be a little bit easier to cook, and that's about how much you fit in my pan. To the onion, I'm going to go ahead and add 1 diced oregano, finely chopped. To the pan, I'm going to go ahead and add 2 sliced mushrooms, and you can skip this or include it. So to the pan, I'm gonna go ahead and add our vegan sausage, and this will go ahead and fry up very nicely. A successful flip. All right, go ahead and cover it, and it'll cook for another about 1 minute or 2, and then I'll go ahead and break it up and set it aside. How cool is that? It actually looks and smells like a vegan breakfast sausage. Before the omelet gets too far along, I'm gonna go ahead and start crumbling it up. So go ahead and set that aside. The vegan breakfast sausage has been cooking for a while. It looks really good. It's got a nice, just kind of almost blackened edge to it, and it looks and smells delicious. I'm going to go ahead and take it off the heat. So everything's coming along really nicely. I'm just gonna cook this omelet here for another minute or 2, give it a flip, cook that for a minute or 2, scramble it up, add it to the bowl, and then set everything aside. And then we'll go ahead, make the empanada and stuff it. All right, a successful flip again. So even if it isn't successful, it doesn't really matter because you're going to be breaking it up, but it is kind of fun to practice. All right, and look at that. Vegan breakfast morning sausage crumbles. Doesn't that look delicious? And it smells so good. And if you were to taste it, I bet you wouldn't even know it's vegan. It's very good. Okay, so now that we've made the filling, we're gonna go ahead and make the empanada crust. Now, this is a very versatile recipe, and it's actually spawned from vegan root cat, and I just modified it slightly to make it gluten-free, free of oil, and then I added the garlic inside of it, and we're gonna go ahead, instead of making a naan, which you could do, we're gonna go ahead and make an empanada. So stay with me, and it's gonna be really delicious. So in a bowl, go ahead and add some dairy-free milk. So this is cashew milk, though you could use almond or whatever you prefer. And this is made with just some cashews, as well as some water. And I use about 3/4 cup to a cup of cashews, and then with about 2 to 3 cups of water, usually about 3, because that fills this pretty perfectly. And then I filter it ever so slightly, and we'll go ahead and enjoy it. So I'm going to take 6 tablespoons of that, 1/4 cup and 1/8 cup. To do that, I'm going to go ahead and add some fresh squeezed lemon juice, and I want about 1/2 teaspoon. I'm just going to go ahead and take a small slice and squeeze it in there. So set that aside about 5 minutes. And then in the mixing bowl, go ahead and add a cup of flour. You could use a regular all-purpose baking flour, whole wheat flour. In this case, I made a gluten-free flour, and this is it. I made this yesterday, and I made it with some basmati rice. Just go right here. So I just took some basmati rice, about 3 cups of that. For basmati rice, and you grind it up into a flour, so you have about 3 cups, and then add about 1 cup of starch, and in this case I did use, right here, a tapioca starch. You can also use arrowroot potato, any kind of starch will do. Then I added about a tablespoon of gum. In this case I used guar gum, but xanthan gum could be used. This just acts as a binding agent. So that's 3 ingredients. I combined it together, created a flour, and now we have a gluten-free flour. The benefit of this is after you eat it, you won't feel really bad or weighed down. You'll be full, but you still feel good. So that's why I did it. I also just made up this, and it helps make the flour process a lot easier. So to that, I'm going to go ahead and add 1 teaspoon of a baking powder, as well as about 1/8 teaspoon of baking soda, as well as about a little over a 1/4 teaspoon of salt. And I'm going to go ahead and mix that up. Okay, now once you mix that up, go ahead and add some fresh herbs. You can use any herbs that you want. In this case, I just used cilantro. This will go really well with a breakfast theme. But you can use parsley, basil, anything that you'd like. So mix that up. To that, I'm going to go ahead and add some garlic. So I had 2 really large cloves, but 3 cloves could be used here, or about a little over 2 tablespoons is going to turn out to be. And you can mince it, or I diced it fine. I actually kind of enjoy when we bite into it. If you don't like garlic, you could pass. You could use onion or nothing at all. You could add some spinach. Let's go ahead and mix that in. And let's go ahead and take this dairy mixture, add it in there, mix that together. Now you could add a little oil here. I am going to go for an oil-free crust, and I also used oil in the other parts of the recipe, so that way it kind of balances things out. Okay, so once you kind of mix that together, go ahead and knead it for about a minute. So it'll be slightly sticky, and that's actually what you want. So go ahead and mix that together and cover it for about 5 minutes, and then we're going to come back and roll it out. And cover it with a nice clean towel for 5 minutes. And all right, so I'm going to go ahead and let that sit for 5 minutes. Then when I come back, we'll roll it out. Okay, now that it's rested for about 5 minutes, I'm going to go ahead and take it out. Okay, now go ahead and knead it for just a few more seconds. Already it's kind of less sticky, easier to work with. And here it's good to think of loving thoughts, think of whatever you like, I guess, but it's nice to think of, of nice loving thoughts, that way it translates into food. I like to think of my husband. Alright. Then go ahead and divide that. Now you could divide this into 4 pieces and make smaller ones. I actually kind of like them really big, so I'm going to divide it into 2. That way you can just stuff it with a lot of filling. I like that. Okay. So now that you've got your ball, go ahead and flatten it. And then I'm going to go ahead and dust it with flour. Okay, I found it's easier with clean hands, so go ahead and put that into a nice oval shape. Doesn't that look good? Okay. Then, I'm just going to dust a little flour onto my board. And sprinkle a little bit onto the dough. And I have to thank Vegan Rika for this idea. I don't know why I never did it before, it just makes so much sense. So it really prevents it from sticking. And blow it out. Now you can go for a circular or a more oval shape. Since we'll be stuffing it and rolling it over, you don't really have to get it too perfect. See how nice and easy that rolls out? Okay, so go ahead and fill up your crust. So I'm going to add the egg mixture. It's nice, it's kind of eggy and cheesy. Let's begin. The sausage mixture, and you probably will have some left over, and if you do, it's really delicious and you can go ahead and eat it. And you know, you don't have to make these. You could put these in a breakfast burrito. You could I was gonna make a breakfast sandwich. Maybe we could do that another time. And there's all kinds of things you can do. You could just eat it. It's really good. Okay, so oops. So I got it a little too full, but that's okay. I'll just take some of this extra and amend it. Clearly you don't want this to happen. You could use just a little bit that's filling, and that would not happen. Okay. So go ahead and see what's shut. Now, usually I would do 3 slits on top, but since I went ahead and pressed it, I'm just going to leave it. But you basically just want something to vent the air. So transfer that to a pan with some parchment paper. And if you have any extra dough, if you made a little error, you can just fix it. Add it to your next piece. So go ahead and take the rest of your dough and roll it out to the clean surface. And I'm just going to sprinkle a little on top, from sticking. And roll it out. You can flip it. It's very easy to work with. Holds together well. It's gluten-free, oil-free, vegan. So I didn't know what to make. I was thinking omelets, breakfast sandwiches. I didn't know. I thought, or we could do some kind of a flatbread with a naan, something. So these are all maybe future things that we might try here on this channel. But anyways, I was talking to my husband and asking for his advice, and he said, "Why don't you make something like your ham pie, but filled with that?" And I thought, that's a great idea, like an empanada. So here we are. My husband's great idea. When we didn't try it yesterday, it's incredibly filling, really big. It definitely creates an entire meal, and it's just so good. And you can freeze these. You can make them ahead. You can make them smaller. You could do all kinds of things. Now this time I'm going to go ahead and use a little less filling, just so I can show you how it's supposed to be. So go ahead and add some of that egg mixture. That would be good. And this way then, me and my husband can have some while they're baking because we're both really hungry. Alright, so you can go ahead and add some of this vegan sausage. And you can also add some vegan cheese here. If you had some vegan cheese shreds or some vegan slices, you don't have the luxury of those items here, but if I made some, you can also add some to it. Since I added the nutritional yeast to the omelet mixture, it actually created a cheesy flavor, and I'll show you a little trick at the end as well. All right, so this looks a lot better. This is in 2 folds. So we're gonna go ahead and fold it over. All right, so then go ahead and press it shut. And then pinch that, pinch the excess over. This creates a very nice seal, and these are really great and sturdy. You can just pick them up and eat them, which is really, really nice. All right, so then go ahead and pinch this shut. And another trick is also to use a fork. That also looks really nice. And then just kind of create some slits on top. And if it's a little busted, it's okay. It tastes so good, you won't care. Okay, so then go ahead and transfer that to your sheet. Put some dairy-free milk on top. I'm choosing coconut milk. It's got a little bit more fat in it. In this case, it'll make it kind of brown up really nicely. So go ahead and put that on top. So I'm just brushing that on top. Then we're gonna sprinkle on some salt and pepper and nutritional yeast instead of sugar, like what we normally do on a dessert. We're gonna be using something a little more savory. Okay, so now go ahead and add some salt. I just have a little packet of thin lanes, so let's go ahead and sprinkle that on. Anyway, and take some fresh ground pepper. nutritional yeast. Sprinkle a little bit of that on. And that'll create that cheesy flavor again. So when you take that first bite, you'll taste it, it'll be really good. And there you have it. Look at those. Now they are quite large. This is definitely an entire meal. You can even split it and have it with like an avocado, which will probably have some avocado on the side. We're going to make house fries, but it does make such a nice big meal. You don't need them, but you could have them. They're very good. You can't go wrong there. So I'm going to go ahead and put this in the oven. I guess usually you do it around 350 for 30 minutes. Our oven doesn't really have good range, so it gets really hot. So I'm going to do it at about 500 degrees. And I'm just going to keep an eye on it until it gets nice golden brown. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. And when I return, we'll go ahead and take a look at how good this turned out. So, how does it taste? It's unbelievable, really. I must say, it's one of my better recipes you've got to try. It actually does taste like breakfast sausage here. I gave some to my husband and he couldn't believe it either. And he said, "What is it made of?" I said, "Walnuts." And he looked at it. It's really incredible. Then we have our vegan egg mixture. It has a really great depth to it. It's very savory, almost cheesy. It's really good. The combination of the two together, combined with the garlic, cilantro, naan like empanada wrap, it's gonna be a delicious meal. Alright, while that's making in the oven, I'm going to go ahead and make this a little smoothie. So I'm going to take some fresh tangerines. These don't have any seeds, and that's why you get all the fiber. So that's 3, 4, with about 13 fresh strawberries since it's the 13th. And let's create your snubber. To Gerald that knows that information. So then I'm going to go ahead and add 1 teaspoon of moringa. It's full of vitamins and minerals. And if you're going to drink it, why not boost it? So now just put your lid on that, with the other cover, blend that up, and we'll drink that. Alright, so that created a really fast, easy drink for us to enjoy. Full of vitamin C, and the strawberries help balance out the sugar, so our glycemic won't spike. So we're going to go ahead and pour that into the glass. Isn't that look good? Really simple. We love smoothies, and strawberry and citrus. Can you go wrong with that combo? I don't think so. And I did use frozen strawberries, which is key here. Frozen strawberries. Keep it cold. Okay, then to that, just add a fresh strawberry slice. Doesn't that look fancy? It looks nice. It's pretty and delicious. Okay, so now I'm going to go ahead and create the plates. I can smell the empanadas. It's smelling really good in here, everyone. Okay, so since I didn't make any potato, good, I'm going to use an avocado. Look how perfect that is. It's a beautiful avocado. So I'm going to take that and slice it. I'm lengthwise. You could just leave it like that. And I'm going to go ahead and scoop ours out. Look at that, nice, beautiful scoop. Then, oops, put it on your plate and just use your fingers to kind of spread it. Repeat. All right, so take your avocado and spread it out. Make this one a lot nicer. Usually I do one plate that turns out a lot nicer, so that's usually Gerald's plate. Okay, so to that I'm going to take my leftover sausage mix and sprinkle that on top. We went ahead and ate the rest of the egg and a little bit of sausage mix in between. I'm just going to take the balance of that and put it on top of the avocado. It just tastes absolutely amazing. This in itself could be a meal. You could put it on first and some flatbread. That'd be really good. I actually found I had so many options I didn't know what to make. And so sometimes I think being vegan is limiting. I actually find I get overwhelmed sometimes with the amount of ideas that I get. It's just a great thing. So we'll have lots of different food to come. The empanadas smell done, so I'm going to go ahead and check them. Bring the camera with me. Okay, so that's what happened here, everyone. They look really good. I'm going to get a picture real quick, and then I'm going to put them on the plate. Okay, so go ahead and transfer that to your plate. Look at that. Holds up really wonderfully. The round edge on the round piece and counter. So even though it didn't shut together perfectly, it still comes together really beautiful. And so there you have it. A one-of-a-kind artistic vegan and Gerald Clark creation. We made this together and it's just absolutely delicious. Look at that. Doesn't that look good? Now my mouth's actually watering. Give it a try. I'm going to save this beautiful one for Gerald. It's a toss-up. They both look good. Either way, I don't think you can go wrong. Let's go ahead. Try. This alone, the avocado with the breakfast sausage crumbles is absolutely delicious. Okay, so then I'm going to go ahead and take a nice big Who doesn't love good food? Whether you're vegan or not, this meal is absolutely delicious. It's well balanced. You've got the big hearty weekend breakfast here. Really fantastic. Everything tastes very good. I'm very pleased and I hope that you try this recipe and you love it. You can try any of these recipes, one of them or all three of them. You can't go wrong. Thank you so much for tuning in to the Artistic Vegan Show episode 2 and stay tuned for more delicious recipes with me, Christa Clark. artisticvegan.com.